To me, the ice road is always a special time of the year.
This river here, in the language of the Inuit, we call it Tuktoyaktuk, which means the big river.
It's flat, it's cold, it's pretty, it's peaceful. One season you're boating it, the next season you're driving your vehicle.
There was always that connection with the people, the way they traveled traditionally. It didn't just happen because of trapping.
Just the whole thing of being able to drive down the Mackenzie River and then head out onto the Arctic Ocean. I mean, there's no place else in the world you can do that.
It's part of the Delta legacy. We're known for it, right? Tourists come up to just drive it. You know, I look forward to building this ice road every season.
I love that feeling of being in a wild place and being the least important thing there and yet somehow made larger by that.
Going on the ice road to Inuvik, it was an event because we'd stop halfway and we'd have a picnic. It's just what you did. You would stop and enjoy the journey.
Something we grew up with, the ice road, you know, it's going to be different without it, for sure. You need it, you know, you needed a road, and that was our only way out of here was the ice road. We depend on it for supplies. Food's a little cheaper in Inuvik. Any kind of building material you need, you have to go drive the ice road. And just to get out of town too, you know, you got to get out.
It was a little sad losing the ice road, but we need this road to move forward. It was cool to think that you drive on the Arctic Ocean to get to the rest of connect yourself with civilization, I guess. I'm glad I was around to experience it.
The ice roads around here started when the government of Canada after World War II were giving out exploration permits, and in 1958 the construction of the dew line was finished, and that's when Inuvik got started to be established.
People were coming in by 6 in a canoe, coming down to Inuvik looking for work to help build that new town that the government was building. It was the oil companies that I think they put the first roads into their rigs out here, right?
It was cheaper to supply all these rigs by roads, and so the oil companies would build roads, and there was Imperial Oil had a base camp at Tuk. Swimming Point was Gulf Oil, and Fair Oil was Shell, and so there was roads going all over the place.
There's maps that I've seen that it looks like measles of capped wells, oil and gas wells.
As time went on and the oil companies left and the government took over, they put out contracts to open the road and maintain the roads, and my father's company was a successful bidder in doing that.
There are two contractors that are responsible for this highway. You got Northwind Industries from Inuvik to the halfway mark, and you got E-Gruben Transport, which was responsible for Tuk to Barcy.
Going on the ice down here, take it easy. Yeah, don't bank up when we turn around. There's not gonna be much turnaround today. Today we're gonna take a run right to 35, so 7 trucks is not gonna be much. The openings where the interesting part is you see everything. You see the wildlife,
You see the challenges, you see the overflow, you see the holes in the ice, you see the ice breathing, you see actual cracks open up in front of you. My whole ice road crew, we look forward to going out there. It's like freedom. Every day's got a challenge. We're going down the spot we've GPS for years. All of a sudden that spot's no good, so we got to move the ice road over. And moving an ice road 100 feet wide over, it's not a small task.
You get a lot more worries on the ocean than you do in the river. One year particularly, we were kind of in a rush and we were working on the ocean. There was a lot of ice, but the ice was really brittle and, well, actually a lot of cracks from the tidal cracking. And we sunk one loader. And Uncle James was driving it, and I looked back, and next thing he's sitting on the bottom. So we had two loaders side by side.
And the guys were in the water?
Oh no, they jumped out, but it still scared the hell out of everybody.
So he says it started in the 50s. You know, his transportation business began with his dogs. They were the beginning of his career because that's where he made a lot of his money to buy his equipment. So he saved up his trapping money and he got himself a snowmobile. Then he bought a bombardier. Yeah, just progressed from there. He was a great thinker. He was always thinking. I thought more about the community rather than himself. What a big presence and a big part of this community he was.
It's minus 32 here, and looks like it's clear as you can see the moon. As you can see, we're doing this in the dark. Of course, right now we don't have sunshine too early up here in the Delta. I'm the project technician for the Department of Transportation. For just about 30 years, I've looked after the Tuk Ice Road for the government. People that's never been on a road, they'll get scared. But then once they see me on a road, they feel safe and they know I'll pull them out or something. They call me the highwayman and they don't know my name. Nowadays, the contractor has a unit called ground penetrating radar system, which measures the ice up to the millimeter.
So we're back on the old road. You should get a real big spike now.
Yeah, okay, jump from 50 to 100 right here.
Okay.
Once the inspection is over and it's okay by me, then the ice road is open. Make sure that it's safe and all the signs are up. And the rest of the week doing highway patrol.
Happy Sunrise Festival.
We're saying welcome to the sun. It's been gone for like 30 days.
This is it's the mode of transportation when people start going back and forth in the winter. It started with dog teams, then after dog teams it was mostly the bombardiers. That's what this thing is. I love bombardiers. My father used to own a bombardier. After the bombardier it is trucks. That shows the truck there. That's the three things that made the ice road. You know, people making ice road from here. Right? I think that the progress for me is the young people opening up their minds and be free to go whenever they want.
We're about 100 kilometers out of Tuk at a place called Barcy. We've been sitting here for about an hour and 45 minutes waiting on the plow trucks because we were expecting them to reach here. The ice road's been closed about a week. Tuk has had 3 or 4 blizzards that prevented them from reopening the road. Every time they started plowing, we'd get another blizzard, and all the work they'd done would be covered up with snow again. We're driving it quite a bit this year. We've been on the road every weekend going visiting because we know it's going to be the last ice road, so I wanted my daughter to kind of experience it, and you know, she's 8 years old now. It'll be something she remembers.
This is the last detour in the river. What it dropped to there?
50, from 100 to 50.
Yeah, that's what we have too. Yeah. Okay, good.
You know, from the last 5 years, it's been warmer. In the early 90s, when I first started out, there was hardly any detours. It was colder then, and 1 or 2 detours, that's all we needed. It definitely has changed.
2/3 of this road was gone, so we did 60 kilometers of detours here in the last 5 days out of a 95-kilometer road. This is a crack off the pressure ridge. So it's about yay much ice, and right underneath it is more ice. So see, it doesn't look that bad, but before you break through it.
How often does something like this happen?
Oh, on the ocean, could happen every frickin' day.
I had to profile a detour around the cracked ice back to the good road. A little bit of water here, Bob. I'm gonna drill a hole at this crack.
Yep.
It doesn't look too healthy here. Crack is pretty wide and it's pieing off on this side over here, on the right side of us. So I think we might have to either go further out or across the bay. It seems to change. That's what I like about the job. You're not just doing one thing all the time. There's always something happening. You have to go check it out and find better routes to get around any problems you run into. That's the most exciting part for me.
I never thought I would see the day where it's the last ice road to Tuk. I am gonna let my daughter drive her skidoo up to Tuk on the ice road. She is 11 years old. It was my idea. She still doesn't believe me that she's gonna be doing it, but she is. Once you get to Tuk on Thursday, you get a certificate saying you drove the last season of the ice road.
I remember when Shelby, our oldest daughter, was 4 years old. We were coming back from Klavik, Christmas time. And Shelby was 4, and then I'd put her on my lap and let her steer. Same with the other kids too. I let them sit on my lap and steer the truck. And I guess when you're around vehicles and snowmobiles, it's second nature almost.
I'm from up here, I'm in Inuvialuit, and I'm working for an Inuvialuit company that's from home, that's Inuvialuit owned and operated. These are home companies. There's no one came up here and built this highway. We did this. Makes me really proud. It's awesome.
The north always beckons, and I must come to it.
The thought of driving on top of a river is just bizarre. I'm still baffled how it's created every year so perfectly.
Hey man, where are you from? I'm from Japan! From Tokyo! Coast to coast!
Yeah, it's pretty hard, and it's pretty hard on your feet, and it's just a long, long, long way.
Had a few emotional patches in the last couple of days, just thinking, wow, this isn't going to be here anymore. We are part of history.
It's more than a hunting trip, it's an educational experience too.
When they come up here, it's not just a hunting. I talk a lot about my people, my culture, and I'm very proud to be in Inuvialuit. And I learn just as much from them when they come up here.
We set off on this wild wilderness adventure, and it's absolutely true that the more you suffer on a trip, the better the story is.
There's been a lot of downs and ups, literally downs, meaning I fell a lot. After 15 long months, I finally made it to Tuktoyaktuk. There's nothing, there's no more road. So obviously I've gotten to my destination. I made it.
Carnivals are a big deal. It's like carrying on a tradition of what people used to do, you know, celebrated the coming of spring. People would go to each community, you know, go meet people, participate in the games and have fun, and just it's a tradition that's been passed on from generation to generation.
It's very meaningful. It means a lot to the people of the community, people of the region. Come on out and enjoy themselves and have a great time and meet many people from many other places.
I was here about 9 years ago riding the ice roads on this bike. I've met all kinds of people on this trip, and we were doing this ride for the last time.
The reason I like to do this is because I grew up in a racing family. My parents raced for years along with my sisters, and then it's just for the rush of that.
It's nice to race with my sister, yeah. I didn't see her, but she was there.
All of the kids, I give them all my power. Yeah, I always say a little prayer for them when they go racing, so I know they're in good hands.
We usually time this to happen with the Muskrat Jamboree out of Inuvik so that there's one more event for visitors to see and attend. We're crossing the reindeer herd from the winter grazing grounds to the summer grazing grounds. With the ice road no longer being open officially and cleared, there'll be much less traffic, and for a lot of people it's the first time that they've been that close to that many reindeer or caribou. So, should be a fun day.
The road is basically where it usually is at the middle of April. There's probably close to 5 feet ice, 4 to 5 feet ice. Extremely slippery, mostly because of the wind that we've had this year, so it shines it up just like a marble. Huh?
This is the last jamboree, and it'll be the last time people will travel to Tuk, the jamboree on this ice road. And they know that.
We've come to another Beluga Jamboree.
In all my life, I've never seen a moose. It had to be the last year of the ice road. I saw my first moose. One time my younger one, he was on the ice road and his truck went through the ice, and I now let him go back in the ice road again. I know there's a lot of people that work for the ice road, and I know what their mothers go through.
We rely on the ice to travel and harvest and hunt, and not necessarily ice roads, but just ice in general. Stitching my landscape has a lot to do with healing and also about erosion. I can see it firsthand, our land just falling into the ocean. So in that sense, the all-weather access road is like a lifeline. You know, we do have to move eventually because this peninsula will undoubtedly erode. It's kind of a symbolic way of trying to mend it and keep it together and protect our coastal area.
We are on the 48-hour notice for seasonal closure and final year closure for the Tuk Ice Road. That's to give warning to the public, and then we go with 24 hours notice, and then from there, the road will probably be shut down for all time on Sunday, April 30th. And this year is my last week forever on the Tuk Road, and I'll miss driving there. It was good working with the Grumans and Northwind and every other contractor that I was been associated with since my 30 years on this ice road. I'll miss seeing them on the road, and I'll miss seeing people on the road, but I'll see them on the new highway. And I'm still the highwayman, Joe Cook.
The days are so long, you notice now it doesn't get dark really till midnight-ish. And when the sun's shining all that time, it's a constant beating on the ice, and the snow starts melting, the water starts running, and once the water starts running, then it goes really fast.
We've driven in 3 feet of water for 30 miles and not think anything of it.
We'll have to send the guys out here in the next few days to collect all the signage and let her melt for the summer.
The significance of that ice road is huge. I hope it's not going to be forgotten, but I know people are people. They're eventually going to forget about it. Kids that are growing up now, like my son, he'll never know the ice road.
And this road opening up, I think that it's good. It'll open our minds for our kids so they could think that they could live with the outside world.
I helped build this highway. I built this highway. We're really proud. So hopefully this whole thing will help kids wake up, have dreams, and follow them, chase them, make things happen up here. It doesn't have to stay the same.
The part I'm going to miss about the ice road is the scenery.
The ice road was always a part of our heritage. It's part of us.
It's all adaptation, and our people understood this way back.
I'm going to miss seeing vehicle lights coming off the ocean.
I'll miss it. I'm going to enjoy driving the new road with the new view.
We're able to travel this country of ours, go hunting, trapping, and just go explore it.
It'll show the people that this is a beautiful place.